All right, we are streaming. And we are live on the air. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome in here to Rover Sports. I understand that this might have some buffering issues. Still trying to work out those kinks to the laptop game, but wanted to be on Wirecast tonight and wanted show and this is pretty much going to be a little bit of audience engagement. Might even call it A&E for audience engagement. It's where I'll be live and I'll be discussing topics that are really prevalent to what you guys want to talk about. And tonight's topic, we're talking quarterbacks tonight. So it's Andy Dalton, thumbnail, which is an ideal. This weekend, watched the Tiger thing, watched a couple of things, but overall, pretty excited about the NFL season. We need this NFL season to come back as soon as possible, and again, each week on the show, I'm gonna have about 3 or 4 guests, and the guest for this week, it's probably gonna be towards the end of the week because of Labor Day. And we're going to try, or because of Memorial Day, I hope everybody out there had a spectacular Memorial Day weekend. So for everybody out there, I wish you all had a great Memorial Day and enjoyed yourselves. So let's get into a little discussion about these young quarterbacks. We're going to start off. The first quarterback that I'm going to discuss, and I'll even write notes on the topic. First quarterback I'm going to discuss is Josh Allen, and Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. So when I look at Josh Allen, what is it about Josh Allen that I absolutely love in the quarterback? I love his competitive nature. So that would be number one. I love how Josh Allen can scramble, can get outside of the pocket. I like how Josh Allen has the arm strength to get it down the field. I mean, Josh Allen was hitting John Brown multiple times down the field last year. If you could look back to the Cincinnati Bengal game in the fourth quarter, Josh Allen was also at his best when he needed to put away Denver, when he put away the Redskins, and he was able to play a full season without getting hurt. So Josh Allen, and if we're going to go ahead right now, look at some Josh Allen statistics. So Josh Allen's stats from last year in Buffalo, he had 20 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions, a quarterback ratio of 85.3. Now, he only completed 58% of his passes. He threw for 3,000 yards. His team around him is sensational. It's a very good football team with a very easy schedule. So Josh Allen has a lot to prove this season. That's what Josh Allen has a lot to prove is this upcoming season. Alex, what's going on, man? Brandon Rodgers and LeVar Ball. Drew Lock will break out next year. We're going to get to Drew Lock for sure. Brandon, how are you, man? Hope you had a nice Memorial Day. The lakes are opening up in Minnesota. Well, actually, I don't know that they're opening up, but it's just a good place to be during the summertime. It's a sensational place to be in Minnesota. Alex Sports in the chat. Alex might be from California. He also might be from New York. He's a huge Giants fan. We could certainly talk about the Giants during this live stream here. Going to be here for about a half an hour to 40 minutes. So we're talking about Josh Allen. And the thing is about Josh Allen as a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills is that Josh Allen is a kid that he has a big arm. He kind of wills his team to victory. He does his job. And Alex, we absolutely have to. Thomas, Danny's going to drop some dimes, no doubt. So wrapping it up about Josh Allen, I think for Josh Allen to have a successful career, he's going to have to be like a Big Ben Roethlisberger, where he wins early in his career. He's not going to be a consistent quarterback throughout. He's not going to have perfectly great seasons where he's not throwing interceptions, but he's going to have to keep winning. And his team with Sean McDermott, who's a decent coach. I don't think McDermott is this all-world coach. I mean, he's never won a playoff game, so he is overrated. The defensive line, I mean, Ed Oliver, you could talk about the sweatshirt all you want, about how he chastised Major Applewhite, and you could say Major Applewhite's a complete dick. But you can also say that Ed Oliver didn't play any snaps of downs at Houston, that he was being selfish towards his teammates, and now he's being selfish by making a mistake that a bunch of humans make, and we'll see how he recovers from his DUI down in Houston, Texas. Could it lead to other bad circumstances? But you get A.J. Epinesa, you have Ed Oliver. I think Phillips left you to go to Arizona, but you have Jerry Hughes off the edge. You do lose your linebacker Lorenzo Alexander, but again, you have Matt Milano, and then of course Tremaine Edmonds is still one of the youngest players in the league. So Thomas Teixeira talking about how Daniel Jones is going to drop some dimes this year. I think that Daniel Jones is going to be fine this year. I think that he'll just be adequate. I don't know if this Giants team is necessarily going to be that great of a football team. In terms of the explosive players on the edge, Jones is going to have to distribute to Evan Ingram. Ingram's going to have to be a big player. Golden Tate and Shepard in the middle of the field are going to have to help, and they're going to have to rely on Saquon Barkley at least getting Daniel Jones into some favorable situations. They're going to play situational football. For Daniel Jones, the key is obviously not throwing picks and not interceptions. But in terms of big play ability, Josh Allen and Drew Lock, both of these quarterbacks have a lot more potential in terms of their big play abilities. Drew Lock, I think, has very good arm strength. I think Drew Lock's going to be able to stretch the field if Shermer's going to allow him. And again, that's a huge question mark, is what is this offense going to look like? Because if Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, if they're not going to be able to run effectively in the Shermer offense, then I'm not sure that Drew Lock is going to have success if he's always behind the chains. The expectation on Drew Lock is a lot. I mean, it could be like Baker Mayfield, where Baker Mayfield played a weak schedule at the end of last year. Drew Lock also played a weak schedule at the end of last year. So I think Drew Lock is going to take some growing pains in the league. I think year 3 is substantially easier than year 2. I think year 3 is substantially easier than year 2 to break out. So for Drew Lock, I don't think that the expectation level is all that great. I don't think it's good for his development that Drew Lock has all this expectation on him. I don't think that's positive. I think that that's just putting pressure on Drew Lock. And it's not like Jerry Jeudy's a sure thing. It's not like this guy KJ Hamler. It's not like KJ Hamler is a stud. I mean, KJ Hamler's a draft pick. So these guys are all draft picks. Top Streams, how you doing, man? What's going on? How was your weekend? We're just talking about the Buffalo Bills, and we're talking about all these young offenses in the NFL. Top Stream, it's going to be important with the Bills' schedule. It's a very, very difficult schedule. It's going to be important for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs to be able to take that next step together and for the offense to score some points. I mean, the defense was lights out last year. The schedule was very simple for Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen still has a lot to prove, but I like a lot of Josh Allen. Exactly. I think that that Lock's expectations are too high because you're just penciling in weapons. That's what it is. And yeah, I think expectations could be too high for Drew Lock. He only played 4 games, but he did play spectacularly well. We're guessing, we're speculating. It's not like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, some of these other quarterbacks that have already done it from a younger age. That's why this exercise is fun. And I think Drew Lock is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I'd actually take Drew Lock over Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's expectations are too high with Cliff Kingsbury, with DeAndre Hopkins, with an unproven defense and an unproven coaching staff. I think that Kenyon Drake is even very unproven. He just had a couple of good games last year. So I'm going to read some of the comments here. But Drew Lock over the long term is going to be a really good quarterback. Daniel Jones from White Lotus. Daniel Jones really does have a big arm. Does not have a big arm or big defense. Agreed, White Lotus. I don't think that Daniel Jones is going to wow anybody with his arm strength. Now, he did make some tremendous throws last year on fourth down. He does take some chances with the football. He is tough. And the one thing about Daniel Jones is he's accurate and he is smart. But Daniel Jones is going to have to kind of, if he's going to win games, he's going to have to manage his way to championships, kind of like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's kind of doing with Tom Brady. Basically, what's going on about Daniel Jones is it is going to be like the Patriot way. It's not going to be a run and gun offense. But you look at Dak Prescott, how he leaned on Elliott, how it was a lot of play action stuff, and Jones is a complementary quarterback. He's not like Drew Lock. He's not even like Josh Allen, where in a snapshot they can hit a 70-yard bomb. He's not even as explosive as Kyler Murray in that sense. An explosive quarterback to me is a quarterback that can make a throw that can change the course of a game, and I don't think that Daniel Jones is in that category, but Daniel Jones is tall, he's mobile, he's tough, and he could be very accurate, he's very smart, and he's durable. So he also has a good release. That's the one thing about Jones. He has a good release, he's the proper size, and his arm strength is not absolutely awful. Everyone says Kyler Murray is guaranteed MVP. It is crazy. I haven't met a whole lot of people that are saying that Kyler Murray is going to be an MVP candidate. If Kyler Murray goes out there and even makes the playoffs, it'll be a really great accomplishment. I was high on Kyler Murray before the draft process, and I think Kyler Murray could be a good quarterback, but there's also some things that worry me. I mean, there were some games last year where he was downright awful during the early part of the season. Like against Seattle, he was terrible. Against the Carolina Panthers, he was not good. He was throwing interceptions late. Kyler Murray and his size is a huge question mark. I mean, he's by far the smallest quarterback in the league. Russell Wilson at 5'11", 6 feet, a lot taller than Kyler Murray, knows how to throw in windows. Kyler Murray, that offensive line, I know they got Josh Jones, and everybody's like, oh, Josh Jones and Isaiah Simmons and DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, yes, is a proven receiver. Same with Larry Fitzgerald. But Kenyon Drake's not a proven running back. Josh Jones is not a proven offensive tackle. He had one good week at the Senior Bowl, and now everybody's like, they got to steal, they got to steal. No one's seen Josh Jones play any football. I would actually disagree with that, LeVar, like you do. I would take Tom Brady's MVP chances because Tom Brady has Mike Evans. Tom Brady has Bruce Arians as a coach. Tom Brady also has Keyshawn Vaughn, a running back out of Vanderbilt. And I know I just went off on the rant about the draft process, but the thing is with Tom Brady, he has Gronk, he has Cameron Brate, he has great weapons, the offensive line. He has a proven head coach in Bruce Arians, where Kyler Murray does not. You also look at San Francisco, Seattle. It's a very, very tough division, whereas I look at Carolina and Atlanta as rebuilding teams, and New Orleans is old in some spots. Clocks, I look at the Dallas Cowboys, and if Dak Prescott is asking for $40 million, I would not do it. I don't even know if I'd pay him $35, because you can either go bend, because let's say the Dallas Cowboys are able to get Kyle Trask, who's just like a Carson Wentz quarterback. Kyle Trask is basically Carson Wentz reincarnated out of Florida. Kyle Trask played in Houston, Texas, and Kyle Trask is a big kid. He didn't start a game in high school football. De'Ara King started over him. But the Cowboys get Kyle Trask. They get their own Carson Wentz, who's less injury prone. I think that would be the way to go if you're the Dallas Cowboys, because if you lock in Dak Prescott, you're going to have years of mediocrity, just like Matt Ryan at the quarterback position. Bradley Moore, it's good to see you, man. Hope everything is good down in Alabama. Do you think Cam Newton is going to get picked up? Now, Cam Newton can play the waiting game. It looks like the Chargers have soured on him. If I was an NFL general manager, I don't really know if I see the reason to pick up. It have to be a win-now team. Could the Redskins make some sense? That is a possibility. Redskins can make some sense. You could kind of stabilize that quarterback position. So maybe Washington can make that some sense. I think Tua Tagovailoa, I think he's going to be ready by week 2 or week 3. So I think he's going to play almost the entire year. It just depends on that defense for Miami, but there's a chance that Tua could be incredible this year. If Tua is healthy, he is the best quarterback in the AFC East. Then I'd go Josh Allen, and then I know I'm going to catch some flack for this, but I'm not a Sam Darnold fan. So I think that Stidham, overall, the quarterbacks in the AFC East are tremendous between Stidham, who I really think could be a really, really solid quarterback in this league. I think Stidham has all the potential. I mean, the guy has a big arm. The guy is a little bit mobile. Guy has a good head on his shoulders, and the guy is a very talented passer. They got to give him the opportunity. If you watched Auburn football, Bradley Moore knows there in the comments that Jarrett Stidham dominated the Iron Bowl against Jalen Hurts. Everybody wants to talk about how good Jalen Hurts is as a second-round pick. Jarrett Stidham at Auburn absolutely lit up Jalen Hurts. Jarrett Stidham owned Jake Fromm at Jordan-Hare Stadium as well. So Cam Newton's a very good quarterback, but he's going to be very selective. I think it could be. It could be an 8-8 season, actually, for Miami. That's a very interesting selection, but I think you got to go Patriots and Buffalo. So that's a good point, Jay Orland, that Sam Darnold does not have a lot of help. That is a good point. So the point is about Sam Darnold is I don't like the release. I don't like how when he throws the ball, how he kind of cups his release, how he takes the ball and has that kind of loopy delivery. I also don't like that Sam Darnold, he's not the most vocal leader, and he's not like a leader that is going to, I just don't think that locker room really respects Darnold as a leader. I think Darnold needs to go in and prove he's the guy. In terms of then downfield throws, Darnold doesn't throw any 50-50 balls, and he's not as stocky as a Daniel Jones, so he looks like a guy that could get beat up pretty physically. So physically, his arm strength is towards the worst in the league. He has fumbling issues. He doesn't play well in cold weather. Leadership is certainly a question. Extending plays, staying healthy. I mean, this is a quarterback that I know Mono was absolutely awful, but Sam Darnold has not proven anything in this league yet. Josh Allen has made the playoffs. So, and all these other quarterbacks have big upsides. I just don't see an upside with Sam Darnold. So I think that he has weird mechanics. I think he has poor arm strength, and I never was a fan. At USC, he did make some great plays, and his freshman year at USC, the game against Penn State, he was lethal. I think that Sam Darnold needs to get confident. He needs to be able to be deadly accurate like a Jimmy Garoppolo in the short game, but I just don't see it. And then you combine that with the coach, who I don't like at all. You combine that with the whole organization. And, I mean, maybe Denzel Mims can be a huge asset for Sam Darnold, but Jamal Adams is a huge distraction for the New York Jets. I think Jamal Adams does more bad than good with the New York Jets and the fan base. I think you got to get rid of Adams. You kind of got to start fresh. And for this year, for Darnold, it's very tough because, there's a good quarterback class next year. This is year 3 in this league. Mitchell Trubisky went out there and won a division championship. It's time for Sam Darnold to at least put up some stats and at least see a whole season. And he does set his feet weird. There is no doubt about that. Anthony Manzano, how are you, man? It's great to see you checking in. A little A&E tonight. You know what A&E? A little audience engagement here. It's just great to be back. There's not much sports on. We had Tom Brady slicing the ball on the front 9. We had Tiger. We had Phil Mickelson. Peyton Manning were out there, and yeah, that was a good golf tournament. Great question by Clocks about Josh Rosen. This is why it's fun doing audience engagement. Do you think that Josh Rosen is a bust yet, or does he need the right team? I think Josh Allen has talent throwing, or Josh Rosen, that is. He has talent throwing the football. Now, Josh Rosen, before the draft, I didn't like his personality really in Buffalo. I thought that Josh Rosen sometimes came across like he's better than the team. But Josh Rosen since then has become more humble, other than the 9 mistakes comment. And I guess if you're a Baker Mayfield fan, sometimes the 9 mistakes will get you pumped up as an athlete. But Josh Rosen, he definitely hasn't found the right team. He is a pocket passer. He is not mobile, and that is a big, big question mark. But Josh Allen needs to rally a team. He needs to get out of Miami as soon as possible. And he needs to go somewhere, and he needs some luck. And unfortunately, that luck might include injury to certain quarterbacks. He needs to get a push like Jacoby Brissett got when Tom Brady was suspended, like Jimmy Garoppolo got. So he needs to find a way to get on the field and play. And for Josh Rosen, I'm not sure that's going to happen. And then one thing I didn't analyze that much was Josh Rosen's mobility. But in terms of him as a passer, he actually has good, clean mechanics as a passer. He's just not that mobile. And there's plenty of backup quarterbacks that I think could be just as effective as Josh Rosen. So, Anthony, you are a Jets fan. And yeah, I'm just concerned about Sam Darnold. I thought that last year in the preseason game he looked pretty good. Against the Cowboys, he made the throw to Robbie Anderson. When he throws to his right, yes, he can be very effective, but he's not a guy that can throw to his left. I think he needs a lot more strength. He needs to really work out, and he needs to just be a lot stronger kid. And just his playing style. I like quarterbacks that can throw it a little bit. I like quarterbacks that are either deadly accurate, have really quick and decisive releases, or I like a quarterback that is going to throw the deep ball. And Darnold doesn't do that. Interesting that there's going to be an offensive tackle at number 1. I think that Trevor Lawrence is a deadlock for number 1. He would have went over Joe Burrow. Trevor Lawrence would have went over Tua. He would have been over Kyler Murray, no doubt about it. I mean, everybody wants to pick holes in Lawrence, but he's 6'6". He has mobility that is incredible. He can throw the ball like no other. I think Lawrence is the best quarterback prospect that probably since Luck or since ever. Yeah, Anthony, you're a Dolphins fan. I think the Fins are in really good hands. I think that Flores kind of turned it around. He's proven himself. The draft is really good. You guys got a good offensive guard, really addressed the interior line, did not go running back. So I think that Tua, again, I'm a huge Tua fan on and off the field, and I think that Tua has a chance. He just needs to play healthy. If he's healthy, he's going to be one of the great quarterbacks in this league. Great question. Would I go to a game? I think I'm leaning towards a definite yes. If they allow fans, I would probably wear a mask, and I think that maybe you would have social distancing things in precaution. But I mean, I'm all in. I definitely believe I would go to a game during the 16-year span. All right. I don't think so. I would take Daniel Jones over Sam Darnold. That's why I'm happy the Giants in that draft. Saquon Barkley I really do like. A great face of the franchise, if you will. Also a great talented running back. I was happy the Giants took him in 2017. I agreed with all the picks 2017. Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields plays at Ohio State. He has a run-and-gun, wide-open system there. I'm not as high on Justin Fields as a lot of other guys. I think he could be an all-right quarterback at the next level, but the Trey Lance kid and Kyle Trask even intrigue me more than Justin Fields. But listen, Fields played really well even though he threw that interception. He has a good head on his shoulders. He's mobile. There is some real stuff to like about Justin Fields, but in terms of him being a generational superstar, I gotta see a lot more. And when he plays at that, when he plays at that at Ohio State, there's so many guys that are running open. Connor Burke, I think you're my good friend from the Ravens. Yeah, and when you play at Ohio State, Troy Smith, Dwayne Haskins, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are going to put up big numbers. So I guess that's one knock about him. I think that Anthony, the quarterback from North Dakota State, is Trey Lance, and he has a high upside because, again, he runs the ball a lot. So he's similar to Josh Allen in that he's not asked to throw the ball a ton. But in terms of his mechanics, in terms of throwing the ball deep, playing from a small school, Trey Lance has a giant upside, and Trey Lance is going to protect the ball, and he could win games. So I think he does have a higher ceiling than Justin Fields. I think that Trey Lance, I think he is going to be a solid quarterback option. I like going the route of a rookie quarterback because I don't want to go with a Dak Prescott, because you look at Patrick Mahomes, you look at Lamar Jackson, you can look at a Josh Allen or a Drew Lock, even a Kyler Murray, a Daniel Jones. These guys are going to overtake the Matt Ryans of the world. These guys are overtaking the Staffords of the world, the Kirk Cousinses. So you can find, once you pay a quarterback pretty big money, now you could be like San Francisco, and San Francisco hit it with Garoppolo perfectly, because now you look at that $28 million contract for Jimmy G, that's incredibly affordable. It's kind of like the Steph Curry or Scottie Pippen deal, where you take a guy who's injured, you take a guy low, you offer him a lot of money, and it could really pan out for you. If some team thought Mitchell Trubisky could be the answer at the quarterback position for 5 years, you could stack your defense for about 5 years and sign Trubisky to kind of that cheap contract. Now, the Carolina Panthers weren't in that win-now mode, but say Atlanta dumped Matt Ryan for Mitchell Trubisky, you would have Trubisky, but then you would have the ability to afford free agents. You'd have the ability to maneuver in the draft. That's why I look at what Jacksonville's doing, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have Chase on. They have Josh Allen. They went up and picked a guy, I think, from Ohio State that is a defensive tackle. They got Henderson. They also got another cornerback out of Michigan State. They went and they got a Daniel Thomas that can really hit in the secondary. Ronnie Harrison, Miles Jack. So the Jaguars, you also look at the Jaguar schedule. You look at Minshew being affordable. They didn't change their head coach yet. The Jaguars have a lot of interesting young pieces. I think that's the way to kind of build your team. It is Davon Hamilton, absolutely. Anthony talking about Austin Jackson. I think Austin Jackson has a high upside. A lot of people poo-pooed that pick. I think that there's something there with Austin Jackson. I think he's very mobile as a tackle. He plays towards the new age form of tackle. And I think Austin Jackson out of USC, I think that he can really be good, and it should be a right tackle, because if you're Tua Tagovailoa, the blind side is the right tackle. You want to have that versatility. I mean, nowadays, guys are lining up on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and Lane Johnson is having a prolific career as a solo right tackle. Young Abu Dhabi. Giants will win the division at 10-6. Mark my words. 10-6 would be unbelievably fantastic, especially with this year, man. It would be really, really sensational. But I think the Cowboys have a great opportunity. They got some good pieces on defense. I like the Diggs pick, Stefan's brother. You also got Gallimore, I think, out of Oklahoma, Canadian defensive tackle. They also get, I think, a generational CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be a gold jacket kind of. I think CeeDee Lamb is almost guaranteed to be a gold jacket sort of receiver. You have Ezekiel Elliott. Dak Prescott's probably coming back. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles had a brutal offseason, but they still own the Giants. You're still talking about a championship head coach. You're still talking about a defensive coordinator that's there. You're talking about could maybe Hightower, Jalen Reagor be that guy for Carson Wentz? And Carson Wentz, even though people want to rag on Carson, he did get injured from the clown he hit. He still played a full season. He still made the most of what he had in terms of receivers. So I still think Carson's a pretty good quarterback. The Eagles have done it before. This is Joe Judge. This is 38-year-old guy. This is Jason Garrett just getting there. This is, and as a Giants fan, I mean, even with guys coming back, I've just been disappointed so many times. And now you have Baker, who's out of the mix. Sam Beal, who we haven't seen anything from Beal. You're looking at a bunch of ghosts right now. You're looking a little bit of seeing ghosts or just seeing blank canvases. That is what McKinney is. I love the draft class. But again, I mean, you just have to see some tangible evidence to think the Giants are going to win the NFC East. And I've just been dead wrong on the Giants. I love Joe Judge. I think Joe Judge could be the next Belichick in this league. I think out of all the coaches in the NFL, Joe Judge can be the absolute best. I said Daniel Jones can win multiple Super Bowls. I love where the Giants are going. Just this year, I'm not in. Who's going to win Rookie of the Year? That is a tremendous question from Jay. Who do I think is going to win the Rookie of the Year? Let's look around the league. You have Tua Tagovailoa. Is Justin Herbert. Now, a lot of people are hopping on this Tyrod Taylor's a decent quarterback, which he's an all-right quarterback, but he's nothing special. I think that it would be smart if the Chargers can lean towards Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow, could he have an all-right season in Cincinnati? Absolutely, he could be all right. Is it going to be Tua? Could it be DeAndre Swift out there in could it be DeAndre Swift? I'm actually going to go maybe with Tua. I think you're going to get good odds on Tua. If he has a good back half of the season, he's going to win that award. Joe Burrow's probably the favorite. Swift could come in there. Dobbins, probably too much flash in the backfield. Sure, I'll definitely talk Ernest Nicholas, top 5 in football. Anthony Manzano, he wants me to rank the AFC East quarterbacks. And Alex Sports says Kyler Murray could maybe win the MVP. I just think it's way too soon with Kyler Murray. I'm not that hype on Kyler this year. Jamie Newman or the guy King from Miami. I would say I would lean towards Newman. I think Newman is all right, but I haven't really seen much of Wake Forest games. I think he's getting a little bit overrated. Shane Leverberry. I think that might be the offensive tackle from Alabama. Status is still in limbo, absolutely. So Anthony Manzano wants me to rank the AFC East quarterbacks. We have tremendous questions going on right here. White Lotus says, Rover, any opinion on Case Cookus out of Northern Arizona? I think he has a loopy release, not a big enough arm, kind of a camp arm. If I had to rank the AFC East quarterbacks, number 1 would be Tua. If Tua could stay healthy, I think Tua is a Hall of Fame candidate. He's the most consistent out of all the quarterbacks in the AFC East. He's the most accurate. He's had the best college career. He's a quarterback that I believe can get out of trouble, and he's by far the most accurate quarterback in the AFC. He has the best touch on the football. Going at number 2 is Josh Allen. I think there's a big 1 and 2. I think that these guys are head and shoulders above the rest right now. Josh Allen has years of playing experience, a big arm, and I think that Josh Allen is a very good quarterback, poised to maybe make a deep playoff run this year. You add Stephon Diggs. He's a guy that's very talented in terms of making plays and improvising, throwing on the run. He had Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley improved this year. John Brown had one of his best seasons yet. Motor Singletary, second season. Cody Ford, second season. Offensive line going to get a little cohesiveness. Mitch Moore, second season. I think that Josh Allen at number 2. Number 3 is Jarrett Stidham. I believe that Jarrett Stidham also is a very good quarterback in the NFL. The Patriots should let Jarrett Stidham go out there and play quarterback. He had a very good career at Auburn. Would have drafted him over Sam Darnold. Number 4 is Darnold. I'm not high on him. Doesn't have a big arm. Has a weak supporting cast. Now, Jarrett Stidham doesn't have a great supporting cast either, but Jarrett Stidham has a very live arm. This is a four-star quarterback out of high school, highly touted at every level. Last year when he played at Auburn, there was a lot of confusion between Gus Malzahn and his offensive coordinator. When he went to the Senior Bowl, he really spun it well. Now, the thing is about Jarrett Stidham, I am surprised that he lasted until the 4th round of the draft. Very, very surprised. Even more surprised to see Cincinnati pass on Stidham for Ryan Finley, but my theory on that was that Cincinnati didn't want to rock the boat. They knew they were getting a number 1 pick next year. You had Tua, you had some really good quarterbacks like Justin Herbert that were coming out the following year that Cincinnati had studied, so I didn't think that they wanted to draft a quarterback like a Jarrett Stidham to come in there and compete. Absolutely, Alex. I'm trying to think. You do have, I think, the guy's number. You do have the guy's number, the Sports Critic. So the Sports Critic can pass around my cell phone number, and we could talk about getting you on the show. Top 5 quarterbacks in college football. That's a tremendous question from Ernest. I'm excited about this. So top 5 college quarterbacks. I know, Ernest. All right. So top 5 quarterbacks in college football. Number 1, I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. That's just too easy. That's a boring answer, but he is one of my favorite quarterbacks. Number 2, I'm going Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma. Guy who's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Guy out of Phoenix, Arizona. He really has some super special qualities to his game. He could run around. He could throw the ball on the run. He has that cockiness like Michael Jordan. Touch on the football. Throws off the craziest of platforms. Uber talented 6'1" quarterback out of Arizona, Spencer Rattler, my pick for the Heisman Trophy winner. Number 3, I'm going Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask is like Carson Wentz. He will be a top 5 pick next year. He will be drafted above Justin Fields out of Florida. He is going to be the breakout star. This is a guy who's just scratching the surface of his potential. Number 4, I'm going to have to go with this system, and I'm going to have to go with Justin Fields at Ohio State. Is going to be definitely in the top 4. He is an impressive kid. He has unbelievable weapons, offensive line, and a quarterback whisperer, quarterback coach. Then you look at number 5. Am I talking about NFL talent, or am I talking about college football talent? A couple of guys that you can mention at number 5. I think Skylar Thompson out of Kansas State is going to make a huge jump in next year for college football. Keaton Slovis absolutely could be right there in the top 5. You also look at Adrian Martinez. I know Martinez had a bad second year, but you put him with Scott Frost in year 3, things could get rolling if you're Adrian Martinez. Could be a sensational college quarterback, but I'm going to go with Keaton Slovis out of USC. But it's going to be a really fun, it's going to be a tremendous college football season. Quentin Nelson, 2 clock screw right up there in Homedale, New Jersey. I don't know about you guys, but Homedale, New Jersey, the spot for some really good, they have a really good amphitheater there. Some great acts come through Homedale. It's always fun getting a case of beer, crossing that bridge, and that is where Quentin Nelson is from. He's a Giants fan through and through, just a straight-up mauler. He's been sensational in the NFL. And you look at Denzel Ward, the Cleveland Browns could have gotten Quentin Nelson. Instead, they trade away Kevin Zeitler. They could have got Bradley Chubb, who had a tremendous rookie season. Lestat Walton, how you doing? Top pure free safeties in college football. I appreciate the question, Anthony. I don't know if I can really mark down the best of the best in that department. That's going to require some research. We're going to have to do a whole show of research on that. What do I think about Joe Burrow? I think Burrow will be okay. I don't think he has as high of a ceiling as Tua. Even Jarrett Stidham could be a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. I know that that's going to get some people upset. But Joe Burrow, I'm not saying he's going to be completely awful. I'm not going to absolutely crush him like I would be Sam Darnold or Jalen Hurts? Could Joe Burrow have the talent to play in the league? I think you're going to find out within the first 3 weeks if Joe Burrow can make the necessary throws to compete in the NFL. I'm still not completely sold on Kyler Murray either. You got to have the ability to make throws in the middle of the field. You got to have the ability to make throws towards the outer hashes and to move around a little bit. But Burrow is a big kid, tough. And he's very competitive. He has that moxie about him. So there is a world in which he is pretty successful. I think Herbert is going to be I think Herbert is going to be a good quarterback stat. I really do. Out of this quarterback class, I like the top 3 quarterbacks. And then you look at Justin Fields and you look at Eason. And not Justin Fields, you look at Jordan Love, and Jordan Love's going to the perfect spot, and he does have a lot of talent. So it couldn't have been a better fit for Jordan Love. I think Herbert is going to be a good quarterback. He's smart. He loves the game. He studies. Unlike Trubisky, I think he's less fragile too than Trubisky. He's a lot taller, better athlete. And Herbert is going to be a guy who has mega arm strength, unlike Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky played 1 year of college. Justin Herbert played 4 treacherous, or should we say turbulent, years of college. He went from Willie Taggart. He went from first was Helfrich, then Willie Taggart, then on Cristobal. 7-6, turned it into a Rose Bowl. He was a prolific college quarterback. Julian Love, Noah Cahill. Is absolutely a sensational quarterback. Did I play any sports growing up? I played the sport of basketball, but only like freshman year of high school in terms of basketball. Golf and tennis more golf now. But more, I would say basketball. I'd say throwing the football. I like to throw it. And then I would say like weightlifting, running. But like in high school, I kind of wish I could have played like basketball or football. But growing up here in the Northeast, football is not like Texas. And I'm only like 5'10", so I'm not the most athletic guy in the world. So, the sport of golf, weightlifting, all that other stuff, playing pickup basketball. That's probably with my friends. I'll play a bunch of sports. Some people play baseball on here. I think Jamal Adams going to the Cowboys is very, very realistic, and it will be a lot of fun for that team, give that team even more attitude. Did they pick up a safety? I don't even think they did. But Cahill, great questions. Keep it coming. So if I had to re-rank this class, good question from Anthony, I would put Trevor Lawrence as number 1. I would probably put Tua as second quarterback. I would then put Joe Burrow in that range. I would still take Justin Herbert. Then it comes down to Fields or Jordan Love. Fields is definitely the safer option, but Jordan Love just has so much talent. And then you look at Jacob Eason or Fields. You got to go Fields and then Jacob Eason. But Jacob Eason really does have a chance if he gets molded successfully. The Colts have Chad Kelly and Jacob Eason. Okay, Noah thinks that Trevor Lawrence just Jared Goff with a little bit of mobility. I think Trevor Lawrence, if I had to compare Lawrence to any quarterback, I think he could be a little bit of John Elway, a little bit of Johnny Unitas. I think that Lawrence is going to be one of the quarterback legends of the game, and he's tall. He has that mobility about him. He's a powerhouse thrower and quarterback. I would say if I had to compare him to anybody in today's game, I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes, but I think that he could be compared. I think he's just a sensational quarterback. I think that he's Finn. If you had to build a quarterback in a lab, you're going to do it. Is he going to throw some interceptions? Yes, maybe Aaron and Brett Favre. I view Lawrence very highly. I think that Lawrence is so uber talented. I do. I think, too, his injury stuff, I think that Tua also makes throws down the field. He is not afraid. I mean, if you saw that game against Louisville, he's not afraid to make throws down the field. And New York sports, I really hope that Sam Darnold, or do I hope Darnold has a tremendous year? I don't know. Jets fans can be kind of mean sometimes, but Sam Darnold's a very nice kid. I've made a point to say that a lot, but as a sports, hosting a sports channel, you're not going to make everybody happy. So if he can, in terms of if the Jets make the playoffs, or in terms of him and Mims are sensational, could Darnold be like Alex Smith even? I don't ever think Darnold's going to be elite. I don't think he's going to win playoff games or be that elite in this league, but it would be unbelievable. Oh, yeah. You want to see Trevor succeed. He's a great kid, and I think, Noah, that you look at Lawrence's highlights, and this dude is just ridiculously good. I think Parker is good, but I also think that the wide receiver Gesicki, I think Tua can really make things go. I mean, Tua at every level has made his receivers better. He's never lost at like any level of football. He is the ultimate wild card this year if he could stay healthy. The Dolphins are just going to be absolutely must watch. I would take Tua over Lamar Jackson. If I had to pick, I'd take Trevor Lawrence over the guys like Lamar Jackson. I think Tua's going to have a longer career than Lamar Jackson with health, and I just love the way Tua throws the ball. I think he's an MVP candidate. I think that, again, he is the guy from this draft class. Now, Burrow can be decent in the NFL, but I don't see stardom. I don't see Aaron Rodgers. I don't see Mahomes. I don't see any of that stuff with Joe Burrow because, again, he was a guy who was a sixth-round talent a couple of years ago. His arm strength is mediocre. In the cold weather, in terms of him being an athlete, yes, he's a great athlete. The intangibles are off the charts. His preparation skills, that's why Joe Burrow is where he is, the intangibles. But the tangibles are not there to the point of some of these other quarterbacks. So Trevor Lawrence's personality, I would say that he's very into faith. So I would say a little bit of Drew Brees' personality. Very similar to Deshaun Watson. They're both Georgia kids, so I would say that. Lestat, I was wearing a Carolina Panthers shirt the other night. I'm a Giants fan. Carolina just has a great logo. I wear a lot of different NFL gear. I'm not going to wear Cowboys, Eagles gear, Redskins gear. But again, like if somebody gives you gear, you go to an airport, you wear a shirt when you're on the beach or something. I don't think that's that big of a deal, and I'm getting too old to wear jerseys. Lestat, it's just I don't want to wear jerseys of kids that I'm older than, like Saquon Barkley and stuff. I don't know. I like jerseys some, but now I got to rock the classic jerseys, or you rock the T-shirts of other teams. Yep, Lamar Jackson. That could get us down a rabbit hole. I do. And Noah, he is extremely cocky. Absolutely. You probably watched the show with Spencer Rattler, but that makes him even more fun. Rattler having that kind of cockiness to him. But Rattler is just elite in every way. He's been a winner all his life. Personality-wise, I don't know about Marino. Marino's a tough, salty competitor. Drew Brees is more of the community guy. Marino doesn't really like to have that. He's a very serious guy. Doesn't really cut it loose. In terms of playing style, absolutely. Personality-wise is Drew Brees, not playing style. Great question from Brad. Do you think that the Browns are going to improve their record? I mean, they couldn't have been much worse last year. They are a true dark horse. I thought that that the guy Andrew Berry, had an absolutely sensational draft. He got the tackle that I think maybe one of the best tackles, Jedrick Wills. He got him at a great spot in the draft. They got Grant Delpit, a guy not going to shock the world with anything, but he appreciate the compliment. Squad, boy, chimes in. Prediction for the Denver Broncos. Kansas City just yet. Their schedule is extremely difficult, but I have 11-5 for Denver. So I'm very high on the Broncos. I've been high on them for a while. The stream took some time there to recover. So just stay with me here, guys. We'll go a couple of more minutes. It was really fun today. I'll tell you that. It was fun. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Giants fan, I mean, family from up there, love the values of a New York Giant, love the tradition, love going to the games, love the fan base. Fan base is a very, the fan base again is just salt of the earth people, I believe. And when you go to a game at Giant Stadium, the people there, I think that they're kind, good people. I think Eagles fans are a lot rougher. Eli Manning, too, the ultimate underdog. Michael Strahan, one of the most, the personality, one of the most lovable athletes of all time is Strahan. His story from North Texas, the swag that Michael played with, just how much fun he was as a leader. Tom Coughlin's coaching style. Just as a youth, Tom Coughlin was that role model, and Eli's the ultimate underdog. The youngest kid in his family. He's not Archie. He's not Peyton Manning. Trying to carve out a name for himself. And the Giants' values, the ownership, everything on down, the color blue. I just love everything about the team, and just the fan base, again, just caring so much about football. Everybody on here on YouTube, you could tell that. And Noah, you could tell that Eagles fans are just an aggressive bunch of people, and I just loved rooting for the New York Giants. I just fit in the Giants fan base. I don't know about this year's later rounds. Yeah, Jimbo, and I appreciate I appreciate the comment there. And you have to see, and that's the thing. A lot of Jets fans are very confident. That's what's going to make for a really fun season. Is Sam Darnold a very polarizing football player? And that's what's going to make for such a fun season. The Eagles fans they take things to a whole nother level. They love intimidating you. They love being the bad guy. They love they love taking things, escalating it to sometimes physical levels. And Eagles fans they're all about themselves, incredibly rough for the most part. There's some good people, though. DTR, I mean, Connor, you got to stay up and watch those games, man. Those are fun. Chip Kelly, UCLA. John Cardinal. I think so. And then that's still a mistake to take the guy that early in the second round. But that's just going to throw up Carson Wentz, make him even more irritated. So that's certainly going to be good. But guys, this was fun. This was a lot of fun. Pretty much like a 53-minute video with you guys. You guys kept it rolling throughout. I really appreciate it. Going to have some podcasts later in the week. Yeah, exactly. Some horrible, horrible stories. So, all right, guys, I have to bounce, but this was a lot of fun to check in. Just being here, talking to the fans again, talking about the young quarterbacks, talking about college NFL football. This was a ton of fun. Alex, I got your email, and we'll have some good pods up later this week, some good guests later this week, hopefully. So everybody take care, enjoy it, and every